we'll start with the class, guys, without wasting time. Okay, is that the screen is visible what I
Yes,
have
ma'am.
shared? Okay, in the last class we have seen we have started with agile development technique. In that we have seen what is extreme programming, right? Every day it is going to develop the or build the new versions several times, and increments will be delivered to the customer every 2 weeks, and all the tests must be run for every build, and the build is only accepted if all the tests are run successfully. These all things needs to be consideration within the extreme programming. After that we have seen the extreme programming release cycle, right? And what are all the different principles you are going to use it in a extreme programming, how that is going to relate with the what agile principle that we have studied, right? Then after that we have started with the key practices which are going to be used within the extreme programming. That is, it is going to use the user stories for the requirement or the specification. Refactoring will be done, test first development, and the pair programming. These are the main key practices, those are present in the extreme programming, right? That time the same thing we have seen how it is going to use the user stories for the requirement. That means stories are nothing but the requirement. So here the customer is going to be considered as one of the member for the team, right? XP team itself, because he is responsible for making the decisions on the requirement. Yes or no? And whatever the stories they are going to correct, that will be written on the story card. Yes, then the developers are going to break down those into the implementation task, right? This is the what the thing is done in the user stories for the requirement. For that one example also we have seen how the prescribing medication story is there, how that will be written in the scorecard, and how that will be divided into the number of implementation tasks that we have seen in the last class. Then after that we have started, I think, refactoring, right? Refactoring is over, no? Refactoring is means just they are going to do the constant code improvements, right? They are going to do the changes within the code so that they can do the code improvement. This is the thing you are going to call it as a refactoring. For that, how it will be done in case of
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am.
yes,
Ma'am,
my screen is not visible.
Sumaya wants to join, ma'am.
Sumaya wants to join. Yes, everyone is admitted now.
Okay, ma'am.
Sumaya is not there.
Sorry, ma'am. Soumya, ma'am.
Samya, she is there now in the meeting. I given the extensions I have added, Kiran. Directly they will. I'm not restricting anyone. Anyone
Yes,
can
ma'am.
admit. That extension I have added, so no need to admit everyone separately. I'm not going to admit everyone. It is get
Okay, ma'am.
automatically admitted everyone into the meeting. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Then I think
Okay, ma'am.
refactoring we have seen it is used for mainly the code improvement, right? Making the some changes so that the code improvement will be done. For that case, how it will be done in the programming that we have seen, reorganization of the class hierarchy, so to remove the duplicated codes, and you're going to give the renaming for the attributes and the methods so that it is easier for understanding, and the replacement of the inline code. I think yesterday I told you people that come up with the answer for the inline code. Have you searched that inline code? Anyone? Have you seen what is inline code, guys? Have you searched about it? I told no in the yesterday's class itself. Come with the answer for the inline code. Yes, guys, no answer. You didn't remember only, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't remember
ma'am.
only. Or have you searched up for the inline code? What it is exactly? What is inline function or
Ma'am, inline code is a
Huh?
function of is powerful concept, madam. That is commonly used with classes, ma'am.
Commonly used for the classes, I know that. How it is going to work, inline code or the inline function?
If
Yes,
a function
guys.
is inline, madam, the compiler places a copy of the code. Their functions at each point where the function is called at compile time, madam.
Yes, Sujit. That means what you will do, see, have you written a C programming? In that you will write
Yeah,
a
ma'am.
first function call, right? Whenever the the compiler comes to that particular line, when there is a call for the function, it is going to jump to the function definition wherever you have written within the program. Yes or no? There is a jumping of the steps will be there. Yes or no? When the compiler will see the function call, it will jump to the wherever you have written a function definition, right? Then only that particular function will be get executed. But if you made the function as an inline, there is no jumping will be there. Instead of that, the function body will be, whenever there is a function call, in that place itself, it is going to what? The function call will be replaced with the body of the function automatically. Clear? No need to jump wherever the function definition you have written, if it is the inline. Getting the thing? Got the difference between the inline function and the other type of the function, guys? So such type of inline code, if it is there, that will be replaced with the calls to the mains, right? That has been included in the program library, right? Is that clear? These are the some examples for the refactoring we have seen in the yesterday's class, right? Then today we will see, I think yesterday class we have started with the test first development, right? That means before developing the actual implementation of the functionality, you are going to do all the types of the unit test, right? Automatic test framework you are going to use, like for example JUnit, that what so we have said, right? Writing the test before the code clarifies the requirement to be implemented, so that the testing is nothing but here they are writing it as a programs, not as just data. So that particular programs will be get automatically what executed whenever you will make a changes within the program, or if you have added, deleted some new functionalities, right? At that time, the directly those particular functions will be, or the programs will be get automatically executed, so the testing will be done, right? This is the what the funda is used within the test driven development. I think we have stopped here the customer involvement. So today we will start with the next key practice that is used within the key principles of the extreme programming, that is customer involvement. As already I told, the customer is the what? He is a part of the XP team itself, right? That means he must be available full time for the XP team, because he is only going to do all the decisions about the requirement. It is his responsibility. Yes or no? Correct, guys? Getting the thing? So the role of the
Yes, ma'am.
please respond. The role of the customer in the testing process is to help the developer develop acceptance test for the stories that are to be implemented in the next release of the system. See, acceptance test. What do you mean by acceptance test? That also you know. That indicates what? Whatever the software or whatever the required functionalities that is included within the software, those must be accepted by the customer. For that case, you are going to execute the acceptance test. So, whatever in the testing process, the customer needs to what? Accept whatever in that particular release, what all the functionalities are there, those must be accepted, right? If you come up with the new functionalities, those must be implemented in the next release of the system. So he need to help to develop such acceptance test for the stories or the requirement what he is going to consider that needs to be present in that particular software development. Okay, the customer who is a part of the team, as already told, he is going to write the test as the development process, right? All the new code is therefore validated to ensure that it is what the customer needs, right? It must be accepted, right? So the acceptance test will be executed. That indicates that it is ensuring that what exactly the customer needs according to his requirement, the code is added into the software. That you are going to do the validation by using the different types of testing over there. So the customer is involved in the development. He is a part of a development team. Yes, so he will be considered as a part of the testing process also. If he is accepted, right, then only that particular software will be get released. Clear? So however the people adopting the customer role, okay, have limited time available and so cannot work full time with the development team. They may feel that the providing the requirement was enough of a contribution, and so may be reluctant to get the involved in the testing process, right? So now whatever the customer nowadays, what they will do, just giving the requirement, that is enough. They will not want to become the part of a development team, but it is needed because he is only the responsible for making the changes within the requirement. Yes or no? According to his requirement, the developers are going to work, so he must be involved within the software development. I hope it is clear. See, for this, now already we have seen the prescribing the medication story, how they have written that prescription medication in the story card, how they have divided that stories into the multiple implementation tasks by the developer team, right? Now how they are going to write the test case, how they are going to write the test case for describing the dose checking. Just one example, one implementation part we are checking now, how they are going to test exactly, how the testing process will be done in case of extreme programming. Just go through the slide, guys. See, dose checking, that is the one implementation task is there among that prescribing medication story. For this, how the test case is written, just go through that. See, input they are taking a number in a mg representing the single dose of the drug, right? How much mg of tablet it is there, right? That number they are representing, and the number representing the number of single dose per day. Real? Getting the thing? How they are writing the test case. If you are doing a manual test, at that time you are going to write test cases like this, right? Then tests. See what are all the different tests they are going to do on that particular input. Test for the input where the single dose is correct but the frequency is too high. Test for the input where the single dose is too high or too low, right? The single dose frequency is too high or too low. A single dose frequency is in a permitted range. These are all the different kinds of a test they are going to do on the dose checking implementation task, right? So what will be the output? If that particular test case runs successfully, right, that time through that testing process, that time it may give you the output as the okay, or it is going to print the error message. What type of error message it is going to indicate? The dose is outside the safe range. Now see, now for a BP patient or for the diabetic patient, they are going to give the different doses of the tablets. Yes or no? Different mg, 1000 mg, 500 mg, right? For that particular patient, you need to prescribe only 500 mg, but if it is described above outside the safe range, right, for that particular patient, at that time it needs to print the error message, right? So such type of all the things you are going to consider whenever you are going to do the testing process on any of the implementation task. This is how they are going to write the test case description for the one implementation task within the prescribing medication story, that is dose checking. How they are going to check for the dose, whether is it in a safe range, right, or is it the outside the safe range. Clear? If it is within the safe range, it is going to print okay. That means that particular test is going to run successfully, or else it needs to print the error message indicating that the dose is outside the safe range. Clear? Are you getting, guys, how they are going to write the test case?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Then next is
Yes,
test.
ma'am.
Yes. Any problem? No.
No, ma'am.
Yes. Next is test automation. Name itself indicates. Automation means automatically it needs to execute the program. Clear? Test automation means that the tests are written as executable components before the task is implemented. That means it is just like a test first development. That means by using some automatic or the automated test framework, yes, what you are going to do here, you are going to execute some programs. Those are nothing but a test programs on the functionality before the actual implementation of that particular functionality is done in your software, right? That is what called as the test automation. See here, these testing components should be standalone, should simulate the submission of the input to be tested, and should check that the result meets the output specification, right? That means the simulation. Already you know what you mean by simulation. It is just going to do the simulation on that particular functionality. Right? What do you mean by simulation? That is just imitation. Imitation of the particular operation. You can call it as a simulation. Simulation. Clear? Simulating the submission of the input. Test automation, how it will be done? Because before the actual development, right? Yes, it is how it is going to do these things. For that, it is going to write as a one particular testing process will be done. In that test case, what they are writing, they are simulating what all the inputs are needed for that particular functionality, and after executing that functionality, what will be the output it is going to get, and whether that output or the result is it meeting the specification or the requirement what we are already considered. Right? So the imitation of that thing will be done in a test automation. Clear? So the automation test framework, like example as already told, JUnit is a system that makes it easy to write an executable test and submit a set of tests for the execution. Clear? Getting the thing? Yes guys, what is test automation? Is that clear? Getting the thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you there? Please respond.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. See, then next is, as a test is automated, there is always set of tests that can be quickly and easily executed. See, whenever you are going to add any functionality to the system, right, the test needs to be run automatically, and the problems in that particular new code has to be introduced that will be caught immediately. As already told, test automation means indicates for directly it is going to execute a program automatically. Right? Whenever you will add a new functionality, in that new functionality, in that particular new code, if any error has been occurred or some problems has occurred, that needs to be caught immediately by this testing process. Right? That work is done in the test automation. So that if the problems has occurred, that will be rectified before the development itself. If it is not meeting the output specification, for example, right, it is not considering all the requirements. If those such type of problems if you are facing, that will be rectified at the earlier itself before the actual development. Clear? Clear guys? Getting the thing? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Then next we will see what are the different problems you are going to face with respect to the test first development. Right? Some problems are there. See, the programmers prefer programming to testing, and sometimes they take the shortcuts when writing the test. For example, they may write the incomplete test that do not check for all the possible exceptions that may occur. Right? I think already you are studying Java. Right? Some programs are going to throw the exceptions. Yes or no? Divide by 0. Is it exception or no? If you write, if you are in any program, if you are dividing a number by 0, what will be the answer? According to the mathematics? What answer
Infinity.
it is to infinity. But is it possible for you to print the infinity value in the computer? What is the
No,
value
ma'am.
of the infinity? Do you know? No, right? So that is a one type of a exception. Getting the thing? That needs to be handled. Clear? That those all things you will come to know in the Java. Okay? How we are going to write the exception, how we are going to throw the exception, how we are going to catch the exception. That everything you are going to come to know in the Java. Just I said one example. Right? So such exceptions, if they have written incomplete testing code, right? In that case, if they have not checked all the possible exception that may occur within that particular the development, that time it will be very difficult to handle such type of exceptions, right? Because there is incomplete writing of the testing process they have done. That is the one problem they are going to face. Then second one is, some tests can very difficult to write incrementally. For example, in a complex user interface, it is often difficult to write a unit test for the code that implements the display logic and workflow between the screens, right? If you are developing a particular website, right, in that you are going to have the web interface or the user interface. If you are moving very fastly from one screen to the another screen, right, there is again and again workflow is there in between the different kinds of screens. At that time, for such type of a things, you need to write the testing process, how they are flowing, how they are changing from one screen to the another screen, right? If there is a frequent changing between the screen is there, that time it is very difficult to write the testing process for such kind of for the development, right? If it is the some test, then cannot, or it is very difficult to write the writing of the test. It is very difficult if the screens, or if it is development is doing it very frequently or the incrementally. Clear? Then next is, it is difficult to judge the completeness of the set of tests. Although you may have a lot of system tests, your test set may not provide the complete coverage, right? You should not, or it is difficult to judge the completeness of this set of tests. These are the some problems will be there with respect to the test first development. Is that clear? If you are using a shortcuts when
Yes,
writing
ma'am.
the test, that time again it is difficult, right? If it is doing there is a incremental change, right, frequently change is there, then again it is very difficult to make the testing then, and you cannot judge the completeness of the test. These are the some type of test problems you are going to face. Clear? Then next is last key practice within the extreme programming is nothing but pair programming. Yes, yesterday only I told what do you mean by pair programming. Yesterday only I have explained, no, what is pair programming, what it is exactly. Pair programming, guys. Hello. Pair, name itself indicates programming. By saying the name itself, we
Two
can.
programmers can
Huh? Yes. I didn't
two
get you.
programmers can work together.
Yes, two programmers are going to work together, right, to develop the part of a software. Yes or no? They may sit on the single PC and they are going to do the development. That is what called as the pair programming. Name itself indicates in pair, right? Not a separate individual. Instead of that, in pair they are going to do the programming with respect to your software. So the pair programming involves the programmers who are going to work in a pairs developing the code together. Correct. That is our definition for the pair programming. This helps to develop common ownership of the code and the spread knowledge across the team. See, already you have seen it is going to come up with a collaborative ownership. Yes or no? The extreme programming. That means who is going to own the code. But here see, whenever you are developing a software, in development team you may have a many number of employees who are going to work in a developing team, right? Everyone should have their own knowledge, their own skills they are going to have. According to that, they have a freedom to make the changes within that particular software which is developed by the whole team. So the common ownership of the code is there and they are going to spread the knowledge across the whole development team, right? So using this particular pair programming, these are the some advantages you are going to get, and it serves as an informal review process as each line of a code is looked at by more than one person. Yes or no? Somehow two members are working together, so more than one person can review that particular line of a code, right? Yes or no? And how exactly that particular code is working in that process activity, that everyone can check it out. Correct? And it encourages the refactoring as a whole team can benefit from the improving the system code. Already you know what is refactoring. By doing the frequent or the continuous change within the code, that will in turn helps you to make the code improvement. So it is going to encourage by working in the pair, right? It is encouraging the refactoring as the whole team can benefit from improving the system code. Is that clear? Instead of one brain, two brains are working together now, right? Which is going to have a highest efficiency, highest performance. From where you are going to get? By the single brain or the two brains? Yes, guys? Are you
Two
getting
brains,
the question?
ma'am.
If two brains are working together, they will come up with the different skills they may have, right? They will have a different ideas, right? They may get these different shortcuts they may use while writing the code, right? So that is why your in turn what it by doing the pair programming, it is going to improve your system code, right? Getting the thing? Pair programming. Is that clear, guys? Getting the thing about pair programming? Some related things with respect to the pair programming we are seeing here, right? In pair programming, the programmers will sit together at the same computer to develop the software. As already I told, they are going to use the same computer to develop the particular software, and pairs are created dynamically so that all the team members work
Yes,
with
ma'am.
each other during the development process. See, the pairs, yes, who is going to now, if we say no, the project teams, you make a project teams of two members from your class, what you will do? Who are your close friends? With them only you are going to make a pair, yes, for the project. Yes or no? That is the case. Who are very close to you, with them only you are going to do the project. That is the case. But in organizations, what will happen? That will be done dynamically, because every person within the team should know each other, right? Who are there in the development process. So the pairs will be created dynamically so that all the team members work with each other during the development process. Clear? The sharing of the knowledge that happens during the pair programming is very important, as it reduces the overall risk to the project when the team members leave. See, is that clear? Even though one of the team member leave, but it is not going to reduce the performance of your project what you are going to develop, because yes, there is a sharing of the knowledge is there, right? So if in that particular one pair is there, two members are working. If one person is leave because of he left because of some reasons, right, but still he has shared already his knowledge to his team member. So with the help of that one, they can develop the code. That is possible. That is the one advantage you are going to get by using the pair programming. Then again, pair programming is not necessarily inefficient, and there is some evidence that suggests that the pair working together is more efficient than the two programmers working separately, as already told, right? Instead of working, if you consider a single brain compared to that one, two brains working together is very helpful, right? It is from that you are going to get a higher performance. Is that clear? That is what some of the advantages you are going to get by using the pair programming in case of extreme programming. I hope it is clear, guys. This is the one technique we have studied, that is agile development technique. Any doubts with respect to this one? Very important, this one again. Which are all the key practices are there in case of agile development technique, they may ask, or they may ask you what do you mean by extreme programming? Yes, guys. Any problem with respect to this agile development technique, guys? Hello, can you hear me?
No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can hear you, ma'am.
Yes, I think my screen is not shared, right? It has stopped sharing. Yes, any
Yes,
doubts
ma'am.
with
Yes,
respect
ma'am.
to this, guys? Agile development technique, in that we have studied the extreme programming, very important concept, right? We have seen what is extreme programming, what is extreme programming, correct? Then after that we have seen what all the key practices or the principles are there with respect to the extreme programming, and what is the extreme programming release cycle. What is the extreme programming release cycle? Right? Release cycle is going to work here. It is going to select the user stories, that is nothing but requirement for the release, break down into the implementation task, then you are going to plan for the release, then you are going to develop, integrate and test the software, lastly you are going to release the software, and again according to the new requirements you are going to evaluate the system. Once again you are going to start with the first phase. Yes, this is what you can say it as a extreme programming release cycle. Then after that we have seen the principles and the practices with respect to the extreme programming, right, and how it is related with the agile principles that we have seen. Then what are the main key practices are there in case of extreme programming? Main important key practices. First, it is what I told, user stories, that are nothing but requirement, those will be written on the story card, right. After that it will be break down by the developers into the number of story or implementation task, you can say, right. Once it is done by the implementation task, you are going to do the refactoring. Refactoring means you are going to change the code continuously to get the code improvement, that is what refactoring. Then test first development, that means before doing the actual development of the software you are going to run all the different kinds of the testing. If that test runs successfully, then only you are saying that that particular code will be get added into the development. Clear? So automated test framework you are going to use, just like a JUnit, right. Then the customer involvement should be there in the development team along with the testing process also. Correct. Then lastly the pair programming, that indicates instead of working as a single programmer, in pair programming what they are doing, they are going to work in a pair, right, so that it is possible for you to share the knowledge and you are going to get the more efficient code if they are working together. With one example of the prescribing medication story, we have seen how exactly these all different kinds of principles which are there in the extreme programming are going to work. Any doubts with this, guys? Any doubts with respect to pair programming?
No, ma'am.
No? Then we'll start
No,
with
ma'am.
the next concept. I think this is the last two more concepts are remaining in case of this module 1, that is agile project management. Name itself indicates. What do you mean by project manager? Now think of you as a project manager. What is the work of the project manager, guys? What he is going to do? At least you heard the position in an organization called
Yes,
as the
ma'am.
project manager. What is the work of the project manager? Yes? What is the work of
He
the
sees
project?
the work
Yes.
assigned to him, ma'am.
What?
He goes through his work, ma'am. What is assigned to him?
What is assigned to him? Mainly the name itself indicates manage. He's
Ma'am,
not
he will
going to
manage
do
the projects, madam.
Yes, he is going to manage the projects which is assigned for the different development teams, right? Whether for them what all the things are needed, right? The resources are needed. That allocation will be done by the again project manager itself, right? These are the some works is going to done by the project manager. That is what how the agile process, how it is going to manage such projects, that we are going to see now. See, the principal responsibility of the software process managers is to manage the project so that the software is delivered to the customer on time and within the planned budget for that particular project, right? For that, what all the resources are needed for the development team, that will be again the allocation will be done by the project manager itself. Exactly, yeah, getting the thing. What is the responsibility of the project manager? He is going to manage the projects, right? So that whatever the projects are developed, yes, that needs to be delivered to the customer on time, and that must be developed within the planned budget. Clear? There must be cost what effective. Such projects needs to be developed, right? So who will take care of that one? It is the work of the project manager. Clear, guys? Getting the thing? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, the standard approach to project management is a plan driven. What do you mean by plan driven? This project management, you can call it as a plan driven. What do you mean by plan driven, guys? In advance you are going to do the planning, yes or no, before the development. Before the actual development you are going to do the planning in advance by seeing the requirement, yes or no. That is what called as a plan driven development. So the project management is one kind of a plan driven. That means here what the project managers will do, they will draw up a plan for the project showing that what should be delivered, when it should be delivered, and who is going to work on the development of the project. Clear? These all things or these all processes will be what considered in advance. So the planning will be done first before the actual thing. Clear, guys? Getting the thing? It is also called as, it is the approach for this project management is nothing but a plan driven. So the project managers are going to plan about the project which they are going to deliver it for the customer. Yes, what are the plannings they are going to do, when it should be delivered to the customer, at what time, yes, what should be delivered, right, and who are going to work with the development of that particular software which needs to be delivered to the customer. These all plannings will be done by the manager well advanced. Clear? So agile project management requires the different approach which is adopted to incremental development and the practices used in the agile method. Yes, along with that it is going to take the incremental development and the some of the practices which are used in the agile methods. Already you know some of the principles of the practices related with the agile method. Compulsory they are going to give the focus on the people, not on the process. Customer involvement should be there, right? Simple design should be there, right? And the maintenance simplicity should be there. These are some principles are there with respect to the agile process, right? Those all needs to be taken into the consideration. Are you getting? Yes?
Yes, ma'am. Getting,
Hello?
ma'am.
Getting what is project management, guys? Who is project manager? What is the work of the project manager we have seen? And what approach is used for the project management that we have seen? In that, what is the work of the project manager? Then along with that, plan driven, it is also going to adopt the incremental development and some of the principles related with the agile methods. Because of that only it is called as the agile project management. Clear? Now we'll see with taking one example with respect to that Scrum. Right? For project management, one example is the Scrum. Scrum is an agile method that focuses on managing the iterative development. Is that screen is visible, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Scrum is an agile method that focuses on managing the iterative development rather than the specific agile practice. This indicates what? Yes, Scrum is an agile method, right, that focuses on managing iterative development. What do you mean by iterative development, guys? Iterative? What do you mean by iterative function and recursive function? Have you heard these words at least? In C programming.
Yes,
In very
ma'am.
first semester you have studied, right? C programming. That might be the one subject in MCA first semester, C programming.
No, ma'am.
No,
C programming is not there, ma'am.
not there. Then at least you have heard in C programming at least iterative functions and the recursive functions.
Yes, ma'am.
Iterative indicates what? No answer? Then again, Tomorrow, Google it. What is iterative function and what do you mean by recursive function? Okay, then only we'll come to know what do you mean by iterative development. The same concept is used here. Clear? I will not explain you now. What is iterative development? Clear, guys? May I expect you
Ma'am.
the answer from you people tomorrow in tomorrow's class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Just remember now, the Scrum is a one type of agile method that focuses on managing the iterative development rather than the specific agile practices. There are mainly three phases are there in the Scrum. We will see now what all the phases are there. The initial phase is the outline planning phase, where you can establish the general objectives for the project and design the software architecture. So first phase is all about planning, the outline planning. That means what that particular agile method, yes, needs to focus, which type of a development it is going to do. Planning you are doing, right? That means you are getting the objective of that particular project which you are developing, right? Along with that, you are going to design the system architecture. This is done in the very first phase, that is the initial phase of the Scrum. Then second is, it is followed by the series of sprint cycles. Now we'll, in the next slides itself we'll come to know what you mean by sprint cycle. Okay, this is followed by the series of sprint cycles where each cycle is going to develop an increment of the system. At least what do you mean by increment, you tell me? Because so many times we have used this word, increments. What do you mean by increment?
Increasing, ma'am.
Increasing in the sense what? It is, the meaning is one and the same, increment and the increasing. How it is used in the development? What meaning is it going to give? The increment of the system. There are many number of sprint cycles are there in the Scrum, and each cycle is going to develop the each increments of the system. What do you mean by increments, guys? Are you going to add some more specification over there in the increments? According to the changing requirement, new version of the software. Mobile example only I told, right? Android phones, all of you are using. Every time, after few days, you are going to get a software updates. Software update indicates what? There are some new functionalities will be added, new features will be added. Yes or no? Your operating system may go to the new version of operating system. Getting the thing, guys? Yes? New versions. Itself
Yes,
we can
ma'am.
call it as a increments. Starting what they will do in the increment development, just remember, guys, this is very important. Increment development indicates what? First they will do which are all the what important requirements are there. Right, important requirements of they are going to consider the important specification, right? Depending upon that, they are going to do the initial implementation and expose it to the user comment, right? After that, they are going to develop the system in the increments. Increments indicates what? New versions of the systems will be get developed, right? In each version, they are going to add some new functionalities. Clear? According to the changing requirements of the customer. Clear? Getting the thing? Increments
Yes, ma'am.
indicates what? So, in the second phase of the Scrum, what will happen? It is going to have the number of sprint cycles. Each cycle is going to develop the increments of the system. And what is the last phase? The project closure phase. Right? Wraps up the project and completes the required documentation such as system, help frames, user manuals, right? Assesses the lessons learned from the particular project. Just project closure phase. That means just it is related to the documentation related with that particular project, like a user manual. How to use that particular, what do you mean by user manual? What is the use of user manual? You'll come to know by reading that particular manual, how to use this particular software, what is there in that particular software, everything will be there, no, in that documentation, right? That is what called as a user manual. So that is the third phase of the Scrum, that you can call it as a project closure phase. These are the three main phases are there in case of the Scrum. Clear? Getting the thing, guys? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now
Okay.
we'll see the what do you mean by or the what are all the some Scrum terms you are going to use in the Scrum terminology. First is the development team. Already you know what is development team, who are going to develop the software, right? In a particular team. So just go through the definition. What is development team? A self-organizing group of the software developers. We should be no more than 7 people. They are responsible for developing the software and other essential project document. Correct. This is the what work of the development team. Potentially shippable product increment. That indicates what? As already told, the Scrum is going to have the multiple number of sprint cycles. Each sprint cycle is going to develop the increments for the system. So the software increment is delivered from the sprint. The idea is that this should be potentially shippable, which means that it is finished, it is in a finished state and no further work such as testing is needed to incorporate it into the final product. In practice, this is not always achievable. See, whenever you are adding a new functionality, right? New functionality if you are adding, that indicates that new increment of the system is developed. Whenever you are adding it into the software or the project, at that time what you need to do, it should be in a finished state. No further works needs to be done with respect to that particular requirement of the functionality. Yes, including testing also. Right? If it is running, all the test runs successfully on that particular functionality which you have added newly as an increment into the system, right, then only that particular functionality will be acceptable. Clear? That is what called as potentially shippable product increment, but it is not always achievable. Sometimes what will happen, that adding the new functionality, that is giving some meaning to your software project, but it may fails to it is not going to consider all the requirements of the customer. It may be considering some requirements of the customer, but still it is giving some value within your project. At that time you can add it, that particular functionality into the software project. So this is not always achievable. Clear? And next is product backlog. This is a list of to-do items which will be Scrum team must tackle. Right? What is the to-do list? They are going to find it out. They may be feature definition for the software requirement, user stories, or the description of the supplementary tasks that are needed, such as architecture definition and the user documentation. That is just like a to-do list, right, about that software project. Then product owner, an individual whose job is to identify the product features or requirement, prioritize these for the development and continuously review the product backlog to ensure that the project continues to meet the critical business needs. The product owner can be a customer but might also be a product manager in the software company or the other stakeholder representative. Who will be the owner of the product? Who is going to come up with the requirement? Sometimes the customer will come up with the requirement. So in that case, the customer will become the owner of that particular product. But sometimes what will happen? The project managers in an organization, they are going to develop the particular software. He has his own idea. According to that idea, they have developed the software. At that time, the project manager will become the owner of that particular project. Clear? Who is going to identify the requirements for that product? Right? Yes? Who is going to give the priority for the requirement? Who is going to review what are the list of items that needs to be added into that product? Right? That user, you can call it as a owner of the product. Clear? These are the some terminologies used within the Scrum. Simple things. Clear, guys? Getting the thing? Hello? Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Please mute. Someone has not mute. Who is that? Okay, then next some more terminologies are there in with respect to the Scrum. Just go through that. Scrum, right? Scrum is a daily meeting of the Scrum team that reviews the progress and prioritizes the work to be done that day. Ideally, this should be a short face-to-face meeting that includes the whole team. That means daily meeting of the Scrum team to just review the process, what if work is done in that particular day. At the end of the day they are going to do the meeting, right? Then what is Scrum Master? Scrum Master is responsible for ensuring that the Scrum process is followed and the guides in the team in the effective use of the Scrum. He or she is the responsible for interfacing with the rest of the company and for ensuring that the Scrum team is not diverted by the outside interference. Right? In the Scrum, one person you are calling it as a Scrum Master. Right? He is going to check it out. His responsibility is what? He is going to interface with the other rest of the company. Right? Getting the thing, and ensure that whatever the Scrum team who are working in the Scrum team, they are not diverted by the outside interference, right? Those everything will be taken into the consideration, right? He is going to take care of that one. That person you are calling it as a Scrum Master. The Scrum developers are adamant that the Scrum Masters should not be thought of as a project manager. Others, however, may not always find it easy to see the difference. Right? The Scrum Master is different and the project manager is different. Scrum Master is related with the Scrum team. Project manager is what? He is going to manage the whole project, who are all working, what should be done, right? When it needs to be delivered to the customer, those all things will be done by the responsibility of the project manager. But what is the work of the Scrum Master? He is going to check out the Scrum team. Yes, whether the team members are they are focusing on the same project what they are developing through the Scrum, or else whether they are diverted by the outside interference, right? These work can be done by the Scrum Master. Then next is the sprint. As already told, the Scrum is going to come up with the multiple sprint cycles. Now we will see what is my sprint. A development iteration, right? Sprints are usually 2 to 4 weeks long. As already told, in extreme programming, in that the incremental development will be done and that will be delivered to the customer 2 weeks. After every 2 weeks it is going to give the incremental development, right? That is what called as a sprint, right? That means 2 to 4 week long each sprint. That means after increment development you have done, that needs to be delivered to the customer, that is of 2 to 4 weeks long. That is what called as the sprint. Then velocity, an estimate of how much product backlog effort that a team can cover in a single sprint, right? Estimation of how much product backlog, that means to-do list effort that a team can cover in a single sprint. That is what you are calling it as a velocity. Clear? By seeing the velocity you can get what is the performance of that sprint team, right? Getting the thing? By measuring that one you can improve the performance of the sprint. These are some terminologies are there with respect to the Scrum. I hope it is clear, guys. What is Scrum?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello? What is Scrum? I told. It is mainly going to have 3 phases. At least remember. Scrum is nothing but one of type of the agile method which is going to focus on the managing the iterative development of the software, right? Rather than the specific agile practice. It is going to come up with the 3 phases. First one is outline planning. That indicates that establishing the objective of the project. Along with that, it is going to design the system architecture. Second phase is about sprint, right? It is going to come up with the multiple number of a sprint, and each sprint cycle is going to have the increment. It is going to develop the increments of the systems. And last one is project closure phase. That indicates that It is all related about the documentation, right? Like a user manuals, right? What are the lessons you have learned from that particular project, right? Such documentation will be given in that particular phase. And we have seen some terminologies related with the Scrum. I hope it is clear. Yes, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Last, I think only now in next class we will see what is Scrum sprint cycle, how exactly or what are all the phases you are going to use, or which are all the stages are there in the Scrum sprint cycle. And last, one more point is remaining, that is scaling agile method. Only 2-3 slides are remaining now, 4-5 slides, that we will see in the next class, and after that we will start with the module 2. Clear, guys? Today's class